to Floral Friday. Here in the UK, people in the nursery and garden centre trade are donning their floral shirts and jackets. I don't normally do that, but just for this occasion I've forced myself to put one on. And we're doing this to raise awareness and maybe some money for a fantastic charity, Greenfingers, that is a charity organised by the UK garden centre and nursery trades, horticultural trades, to go around the country and build fantastic gardens in hospices, children's hospices around the UK. They do an amazing work that not many people get to see unless they're in the tragic situation of having a child in a hospice. So we've created some wonderful gardens over the last probably 10 years or more, I don't know how many years, but we'd love you, if you can, to go to the Greenfingers website and just search for Greenfingers charity, and you can donate some money. I'm going to donate some money after doing this, and the idea is that we just raise some awareness and some money for this fantastic charity. But while I'm here, I wanted to talk to you about fertilizers. What makes the difference between a plant that's just okay, maybe a little bit vulnerable to the weather or to disease, or a plant that is just full of the joys of spring? I'm a big fan of the right use of fertilizers, and I just wanted to try and unpack some of the knowledge and the experience that I've picked up on the way. It started for me way back in the 1970s when I was at horticultural college, and we had a soil science lecturer. So I used to go every week for our lectures in soil science, and believe it or not, the name of the guy, the lecturer, was Dennis Clay. What a name for a soil scientist. Anyway, so Dennis taught us about the different soil structures and the different nutrients that are available. So when you pick up your pack or your bottle of fertilizer, on the back there will be some analysis of the nutrients that are in there. And basically the big three are nitrogen, phosphate and potash. N, P and K would be the kind of the chemical symbols for those. So you'll see some kind of facts and figures about that. There are loads of other nutrients, important nutrients, that we haven't got time to go into today. But the way to remember the benefits of nitrogen, phosphate and potash is in the way of thinking, okay, so it's shoots, roots and fruits. So nitrogen is for leaves and shoots, phosphates are for roots, and potash is for flowers and fruits. So it's shoots, roots and fruits. And you need all three of those elements in your garden to help a plant establish and to thrive. If you wanted to have lots of leaf, maybe if you were growing lettuce or something like that, then you'd want to have a fertilizer with a high nitrogen content. And you'll see that on the figures here they give a percentage of nitrogen or phosphate or potash, and if it's got a higher percentage nitrogen than the other two, a high N content, then you're going to get lots of leaf. Now that's great if you want to grow lettuce, but there is a danger with that, and this Miracle Grow is one that's got quite a high nitrogen content, good fertilizer, but if you want a plant that's going to be tough and resilient over winter, you may not want to be using this on some shrubs and things outside of the spring, because as you go past the spring into summer and autumn, you want to have tough, well-branched, robust growth rather than lots of lush, soft growth. So you'll see, for instance, on lawn fertilizers in the spring and summer lawn fertilizer is high in nitrogen, but the autumn lawn fertilizer has got a lower nitrogen content, more potash, which encourages a well-branched grass rather than a long, lush grass. So if any of you have ever seen any of my videos about the plants and the gardening, you'll see that I'm a bit of a fan of potash. And potash appears in a few fertilizers. So this one here, Tomerite, if you think about it, what do you want when you're growing tomatoes? Do you want lots of leaf or do you want lots of fruit? Of course you want the fruit, so you'll find that the potash content here in tomato fertilizer is much higher, encourages more flowers and therefore more fruit. So to be honest, I use that on anything I want to encourage flowers on. I use tomato fertilizer. Bear in mind that liquid fertilisers like this, ones that you dilute down, only last a few weeks in the soil. So that's okay for a week or two, but you'll need to repeat use them through the summer. So I tend to use, well, this one here. This is probably one of my favourite fertilisers, which is a slow release granule that will gradually release the nutrients. It's got the high potash content to encourage that bushy, robust, strong growth rather than soft growth, and it encourages more flowers, but it's also got the trace elements. Remember I said there was those other elements as well as nitrogen, phosphate and potash. So this has also got the trace elements in there, which are very important to have that broad spectrum of fertilisers in there. So that's a good all-round fertiliser. Slow release will last up to about 6 months. You don't get a one hit and then it's all over like with the liquid fertilisers. This gradually releases the nutrients all through the season. So a good one to put on now. Here we are in April. A good one to put on in April right through until September easily. This will feed your plants. Anything you want to encourage flowers on, don't forget it's high potash content. Rose food typically again has high potash in there because you want to encourage more flowers. In fact, if you looked at the analysis on this and on this, it will be very, very similar. The difference is that this is a water on one which will wash through within a week or two. Rose fertiliser on any flowering plants, any outdoor flowering plants, shrubs in the garden, that'll last you several months in the garden. So there are other, I guess what I've done there is I've given you a very simplified version of the nutrients in fertilisers. There's a whole raft of other things we should look at, and maybe on a different video we'll look at the needs of ericaceous plants, lime-hating plants like these camellias there, if you can see that. So camellias and rhododendrons and azaleas, some of the heathers, they need a different sort of fertiliser again, but rather than confuse you with that now, we'll leave it to that for today. I hope that's been of some use, and we'll catch up with you later. Don't forget, go to the Greenfingers website and see if you can donate a couple of pounds. Thank you.